Ooh, that's pretty tight. All right, this one today is for a property management company I do work for. I'll put the picture in the video, but it looks just like a little hole from some water damage, right? But that board is messed up. So, gonna be cutting out the section right here, pretty decent sized section, and then seeing how bad, if there is any crazy mold up there, gonna be spraying it. New board, tape, mud, texture, paint, all on the same trip. First, let's get this tape and plastic up. Get it dextrified. What's up, guys? My name's Corey. I'm the drywall tech on all your social media platforms. Real quick, speaking of Dexter, you haven't watched the latest season? Man, you're missing out. Crazy. All right, so I got such good feedback last time on the smooth wall patch and paint job in the same day. Thought I'd make another one for y'all. This one's for a property management company I do quite a bit of work for, and they sent me a picture from up top. There was a little leak up there. The board looked pretty jacked up, so just from the pictures, I assumed it would be a certain amount, and you know, they trusted me on it and came here and got it going. There did look like there's a little bit of mold on the board, which you could see right there. But from the picture, I meant to look like there would be some. So they asked me what I could do about the mold. I said I could spray it for you, but that's about it. I'm not a mold remediation company. And make sure you're up front with them when you tell them that, you know. Obviously, if I opened this up and it was caked with black mold, I'd just tell them to call somebody else. I don't deal with that stuff. From the pictures, I knew it wasn't going to be that bad. So you wear a mask. You know, sometimes when it's really bad, I'll wear a full suit. But I knew this wasn't going to be bad. And turns out, as you'll see, there's just a little, any mold on the drywall, I cut out. And then there's a little bit of mold on that wood right there that you can see right there. So I'm going to be spraying that down with some mold killer. But for right now, just cut it out until you don't see anymore, or until you get your head up there, and you know, just check it out. So now I'm not using the Makita saw on this one, just because I just didn't want to. I figured it'd be nice to show some videos where I don't use all the, you know, most expensive tools and gadgets doing things. You know, this is a $6 saw that you can get, so anybody can get this and cut it out. So that's kind of what I wanted to show in this video. So sometimes when I'm cutting these too, I like to just pull like the top side of the paper, or the brown side, and just kind of pull it back as I'm cutting it, and that'll kind of show you too, like where the mold's going and if it's gonna be stopping anytime soon. But until then, just keep cutting. And I would say that when you're, you know, dealing with something like this, it's always good to have an extra saw that's like meant for when you're cutting, touch a mold, you know. Make sure you have your gloves on. Just wear the right stuff, you know. You just don't want it all over the place. You want to try to be as safe as you can. Okay, so I did get pictures up above. I told the owner I would spray some mold spray on that wood right there. Totally forgot to bring the mold spray from my house. So, since I have to get a paint match anyways, I'm gonna go get the mold spray, get a paint match done. With something like this, you just need to get a piece of the paint, shake all the dust off of it, and that'll be good. It is a garage. Usually I get a gallon from Sherwin-Williams, but since I'm getting mold spray, I'm gonna go to Home Depot, give them this piece, tell them to paint match it, and we'll be coming back. Now I wanted to put this clip in there because I know some people are, you know, unaware or don't know how to go get a paint match. So here's what you do. You take your piece in, you go straight to the paint counter, and hopefully you get someone nice who's willing to actually try to match it for you. And this woman was awesome. Shout out to Brenda. Yes, I do.
Okay. How much are you doing?
Just a quart.
Where did I find like plastic wrap to we're having some demolition of the house and I wrap it
I think it's a semi-gloss.
675 513. You don't lose it as much. I mean, it kind of depends on whose product you go to. Bare would probably be shinier.
I'm gonna do the
Glidden.
yeah. So they tested it out. She thought maybe it was a satin, and I don't know if you could see, there's a little bit of a flat spot there, so that was not it. Now, looking for the mold spray, which here we go. I like to use this one. Mold control. So remember, if they show you it and you don't like it, tell them. Don't just take it. Or just listen to the Home Depot people. Speaking of which, these are the lids I like with the Home Depot buckets. They snap on really good. Better than these stupid ass lids.
It's right here. So you can see
Oh,
where
yeah,
it's
that
just
is
a little teeny bit thicker
okay.
in my finger.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to change it.
Okay, cool. That works. Appreciate it. Awesome. Thank you, Brenda.
Take care, man.
Appreciate it.
You have a great day.
You too. You were awesome, Brenda. Appreciate the help. Here's how much it costs. 15 bucks for that, couple bucks for this. It's all good. That's what you want to get. Now we're back at the job site. Gotta get your mask on. But there's those fans. Just posted a video about those fans, so I'll go check it out. They're on sale at Costco right now. Now I always test it out first, because there's a little nozzle that you turn. Make sure it's in the spray mode, and then when you close it up, make sure it's back and not on that. So anyways, we're up here. We got the light on it. I'm just spraying around right here. So now if I was spraying on the framing, like underneath, and soaking the crap out of it, then I would let it actually fully dry out before I do this. But this being up top, not below where the drywall's gonna, you know, suffocate it against the framing, it's fine. Just spray it down, whatever you need to. Let it soak a little bit. Then I take some paper towels, wipe it on down. Make sure you got your gloves on first. Man, I should be a rep for these damn Home Depot gloves. Probably spend thousands of dollars a year on these stupid gloves, but they work. So, and I noticed there's some screws in there and a nail or two, so we'll get that in there too. Get the nails, get the screws out so we can get to hanging. Now, you guessed it, get the fans going. Yes, I just called it a pizza chit, if you know what I'm talking about. So get the fans on it. You want to get it, you know, just get it drying a little bit. Plus, when you're up there hanging and doing stuff, now you got a nice fan blowing on you. And there you go. Now, let's get to measuring this piece. Wasn't too bad, but it's pretty much what I thought it was going to be. It wasn't bigger than I thought, so that's always good. Because when you're bidding stuff from pictures, you just never know sometimes. Sometimes you could be off, so... Got two 4-foot pieces up there. You want the backing to hang off a little bit further than the drywall. And as you can see, that part was sagging down just a tiny bit. But once you suck it up to that board and get the new drywall in there, which it was 5/8, then it'll all be sucked up tight. Now I realize I could just cut the drywall back to the middle of the framing, but I wanted to show you when you have a 1x3 like this, you can put it up there, screw it to the drywall first, then you screw it to the framing so it's hanging right off of it. And now you got some extra room to hang the board to. Just another way to put the backing up. Now we got our drywall here. If you're not sure how to use the tape measure, how to cut it like this, I got a short up in my YouTube shorts you can check out. Pretty much saves you from having to carry a T-square everywhere with you, because less stuff you have in your truck, the better. And as you can tell, my truck is a mess. This was right after the repipe job. If you saw the short I put on that, it was about 30 something patches, 3 days. This job I did right after that, so pretty much it was a good week. It was a busy week, so you want to get it up there. People ask me how I do these patches by myself, but there's nothing to it really. You just gotta hold it up with your one hand. And yes, I left my little grunting noises and whatnot in here because, you know, this stuff isn't heavy. I mean, this stuff isn't light. The full sheet of 5/8 I believe is 85 pounds. So there will be a little bit of grunting going on. Once you get up there, get a couple screws in the corners, then you get some in the middle, and we're good. Just keep screwing off. Get all the flakies off there. There was that little crack in the board, so I'm just treating it like a stress crack. It didn't go all the way through, it was just on the surface, so don't worry, it's all good. Then you will get your mesh tape on there. Half on the existing, half on the new board. Try not to overlap if you can. And right here is a pretty big gap up there. So I put one, as you saw, and it kind of pushed it in there, and then I put one next to it. Now we're gonna get that 5-minute going. Get your mud, get your water with the towel sponge, get your 5-minute poured in there, get to mixing it, and we're doing first coat. So first coat, if you've been watching my channel, you know I like the 5-minute, and something like this in one area, if you know, mix it up quick enough, it'll last you a good amount of time, trust me. So you want to get your first coat on there, just a nice tight pull. Make sure you're kind of slamming it in there where the mesh tape is. If there's any gaps, kind of slam it in there first like that, then swipe it clean. So if you work it back and forth, it'll go in there just fine. I've been doing it this way for a long time, so save your comments if you're gonna talk about the pre-filling issue, because it goes in there just fine. So get your first coat on there, try to make it even, try to make it smooth, don't, you know, bulge it up everywhere. You're just trying to get that first, you know, lock down the tape is what I call it. You're just locking down the tape, getting it ready for that second coat, which will be a pretty nice, easy pass once you get to that second part. And for reference, this is a 12-inch knife with my 6. It is a bigger patch, so I wanted to bust out the 12 instead of using my 8 or my 10. Now, like always, make sure you clean your knives and pans right away, because that stuff dries quick. Then you go right back in there right after you wash it. Don't even wait longer. Just wash it, get back in there, sponge your edges first, then scrape down the mud. And if you're watching it closely, you can see it went away. There's a little hump like that where the mud's sticking out the mesh. So as you're scraping it, it's even pushing it up in there some more, because the mud is still kind of wet, but it's like a Play-Doh almost. So after that, get your second pan, and this should just glide right over. You shouldn't be leaving really anything on here unless you need to, but you shouldn't need to if everything was hung nice and tight and there was no previous patchwork where they might have piled on a bunch of mud, you know, things like that. So just get that nice tight second coat on there. And all you're pretty much doing, it's almost like a skim coat with the second pass. You're just making sure you're pulling your edges tight, and if you're mudding it and you kind of feel anything or you see anything that needs more mud, then you leave it on there. But other than that, this is pretty much the process that I do on all the patches. Unless they're small, then you'll see me leaving some on so I can scrape it and just do one coat. But look, check it out. It's nice and smooth. And that's it. After I washed the pan, same thing. Came back in here with the sponge. Gonna do a nice glaze over with the sponge the edges. Any little ridges and things you see right now, you can pretty much smooth it out with the sponge. You barely need to use the knife if you know, pull it tight enough and don't leave a bunch on there. then right now, I know it's hard to tell, but I'm just very lightly going over it and just kind of filling it out. Now it's texture time. You don't like my soquete mud. So this time, I didn't, that bucket to the left, it was kind of crusty and, you know, ruined from the repipe that I did. So I just scooped some scoops into my pan, added some water, and mixed it up. Now we're going in for the texture. This is called a skip trowel. It's pretty much what Arizona has, more so than knockdown and orange peel and even smooth. You know, a lot of the new track homes and everything, it's all skip. I don't know why they do it. I mean, I know why, because it, you know, it's coverage, right? So it can hide a lot of stuff, because when you think about it, all that skip I'm doing is just a bunch of ridges from the skip. So you have any edges, any inconsistencies, the light will kind of throw it off with hitting all the ridges in the skip. And so anyways, you just want to get a little bit of mud on your knife just on the tip of it, and at an angle you're gonna just glide across the board. I'm not barely putting any pressure whatsoever when I'm skipping these out. And you're always gonna start moving first and then touch the wall. So if you see, I started to move and then my knife went down, touched the wall, and skipped across it. This is sped up at 1.4, so it is a little bit slower than this, but it's pretty close. I mean, it's not doubling the speed here. So, and this garage is a little bit of a messy skip, I would call it. So there were some fat areas, some small areas. So I just skipped it out, took my knife, did a nice once over glaze with my knife to flatten it out, and then you guessed it, get those fans on. Why? Because we want to get this painted, right? We want to get this painted, primed and painted right now, so we don't have to come back. I've been kind of doing this a lot more lately, because coming back's just been a little bit more of a pain in the butt. You know, even when you have to clean up your mess, come back, mask it off again. So get both fans out. I usually always carry two. And we're gonna get this puppy drying. So I went and got a soda at the QT, watched some Kill Tony in my truck for a little bit, and there you go. It's pretty much ready for paint. What you're seeing, those dark lines, is the 5-minute pre-fill spots. So, but it's all right. Trust me, you could still paint over it if it looks like this. Now, if their texture is still wet, don't need that. Has to be fully dry. But if you see that little dark spot, totally fine. So take your sanding sponge. I always sand the edges no matter what texture I use. And then with the skip, I just do a very, very light once over on this. Make sure you're wearing your mask. You know, you see all those cancer warnings on it, right? So it does happen. Now we got the Kills primer. Like someone said in the last video, yes, those plastic lids suck, but it's what they got. It was 1 o'clock when I started to paint with the primer. So make sure you load it up, get a nice, good coverage on that Kills on there. After that, you guessed it again, turn the fans on. I'm telling you, these fans are gonna save you guys time. And then I am gonna wrap this Colossus roller up from Sherwin-Williams that I purchased it at, and I'm gonna clean it because it was just used for the primer. So why not? These are like $9 per roller. So I'm gonna save them when I can, like in this instance. But bigger jobs, if I'm using it too much, I won't bother. But this one was fine. So it's looking pretty good, better than that patch. Now we got our quart of paint in there, got a fresh roller, get that first coat on. And this was pretty quick. The fans, I don't know how long, maybe I probably only waited 15 minutes or so for the fans to dry the primer. So I'm telling you, they do work, they do come in handy. So you want to pull that down now to go a little bit past the primer. You want to make sure you're covering that Kills primer with the paint. But look at that, that's after first coat. It looks pretty good. So, but I got the fans on there to dry it. Now, while the first coat's drying, you know, this is what I do. This is how I get stuff done. I don't really I don't sit down. I keep it moving. So I got the trash bag going, got my glove on, because remember, there was a little bit of mold on this, right? Got my mask on, and we cleaned up that trash. We can also get rid of your ladder. So I moved the fan, put the ladder back in the truck, got my bench back in there. And that's looking good. That's real good. Now we're doing second coat. And if you could tell, now I'm going opposite direction. Call it boxing it in, right? We went one way, let's just say east to west before. Now we're going north to south. Make sure you're covering all angles. There is a sheen to this, so after second coat, I'm gonna turn that fan on there to get it drying, to see if anything's really sticking out, popping out. Anything's gonna be better than that patch. So got the roller, put it back in the bag, clean that later, and start cleaning up your mess. Try to always have some trash bags on you. It does help when you just every day put your trash in the trash bag and then you throw it away at the end of the day. Just tries to help it keep it a little bit more clean. Got my broom, swept it up. Now this is something I learned from my cousin too when we didn't have a hose back in the day, but I just got some water, sprinkled it on the floor. Yes, I see it. It's a dirty garage, but still don't want to leave your mess around. Still want to be professional. Keep things as clean as you can. So I got the rag out from the car wash and wiped it down. And there you go. That's a wrap. She's looking good. That was pretty quick too. So paint matched up perfectly. Thanks, Brenda. So it's from my buddy here. You know who you are. Look at this is a patch paint job. You cannot see the difference between the sheens or like the major sheen of the patch going into the other one. It blends in pretty well. So I don't know, maybe it's the primer that you're using, but looks pretty good. Can't even tell it's there. Better than that turd. Anyways, thanks for y'all watching. Appreciate the love. It is 1:36. Not too bad. I would say, man, it took like an hour. Go get a soda real quick at the gas station and came back. Man, I don't know. I want to say probably 4 hours of total time, maybe a little less. But anyways, check you next time. Peace.